Hello there. The May 2026 Nigerian political party primaries have faced widespread criticism due to severe operational flaws, elite manipulation, and legal uncertainty threatening internal democracy ahead of the 2027 general elections. And while the Electoral Act 2026 officially abolished indirect primaries to curb corruption, major flaws have also severely disrupted the nomination exercises. Activists and observers have warned that Nigeria is sliding into a selectocracy rather than allowing transparency. Voting political elites are forcing candidates to, step down under the guise of consensus arrangements and coronations. In competitive regions, the direct voting system has been highly volatile. The All Progressives Congress APC's primaries, for example, have suffered from parallel victories, clashing declarations, and video evidence of fraudulent vote counting. Now, civil society organizations, particularly the gender activists, have heavily faulted the parties for the rapid marginalization of women. Female aspirants nationwide face immense elite pressure to withdraw from the race, resulting in a steep drop in female representation across states like Katsina, Edo, Abia, and even in Benue. Now, despite new legal frameworks, primary elections remain heavily commercial transactions, whether you like it or not. High fees for expression of interest and nomination forms are deliberately used by party leadership to price out younger and less connected aspirants. The success of the 2026 direct primaries rely on comprehensive digital member registers. In practice, parties have struggled with missing names, poorly maintained infrastructure, and a lack of transparency regarding who is actually eligible to vote. Now, you will recall that on May 20, 2026, a landmark Federal High Court ruling invalidated the strict primary timeline set by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Nigeria's apex electoral body. The court ruled that INEC cannot override Section 29 of the Electoral Act, giving parties sudden legal leeway to alter their schedules, which has, worsened organizational confusion. Political watchers believe that Nigeria's electoral system suffers from some sort of total lack of enforcement, and offenses like vote buying, candidate intimidation, and result manipulation are rarely prosecuted, breeding institutional impunity. In the last 1 week, many aspirants have decried these perceived irregularities by their political parties amid the cutthroat price of nomination forms purchased. Today's discussion will be a continuation of our focus on the ongoing primaries across Nigeria. I have joining me in the studio right now, Benjamin Mayor Oyameda. He is a member of the, Nigerian Democratic Congress and an aspirant, the House of Representatives aspirant representing Edo State. Is it Edo South?
East and Northeast.
East and Northeast. I also have, in addition to him, Ibrahim Odnemisi is the National Coordinator, Youth Alliance for Good Governance of Nigeria, and of course, House of Reps aspirant from the Nigerian Democratic Congress. From the what party?
Not House of Reps.
House of
No, ADC.
From the
from ADC,
African Democratic
ADC
Congress,
and Public
as a matter of fact.
I'm a neutral person, but
gentlemen, welcome to the show tonight.
It's my pleasure.
I'm going to begin with you, Comrade Ibrahim. To begin with, what's your assessment of the, ongoing, because some parties are still conducting primaries, the ongoing primary elections across the country, according to the 2026 Electoral Act, having that in mind, and of course, given the recent court ruling on INEC's deadline. Let's look at that. What is your assessment?
No, when you say the ongoing primary elections going on across the country, this is 2026, if you could notice, Electoral Act 2020, the Section 84 of the Electoral Act 2026 has amended, Act 2024 and amended in 2026, purely and strictly stated that talks about, direct primaries of all political parties. And, as you know, that our politicians are not used to, direct primaries. And they are used to this, their usual way of, fraudulent election fraudulence and, committing election crimes, across the country. They are not used to that. Direct primary is something that would have been the best, especially in a situation what we are facing in the country right now, because it will enable, it will give it will give the opportunity, you know, to the grassroots, to the Nigerians to really, you know, support and who they really believe in. You know, unlike that of, you know, delegate primaries that usually be conducted in the country where politicians will just corner delegates or, you know, or the usual way of hijacking electoral boxes and all that. Because that would have been the hope, because it really encouraged us, especially the young, you know, the upcoming politicians, you know, the young Nigerians really were like, okay, if it is direct primaries, so there is hope for, you know, our democracy.
Okay. Just a thought. I'll come back to you in a moment. Benjamin, welcome one more time to the program. I'll ask you the same thing, first and foremost, because you are, should I say, a stakeholder in this business now.
Yeah.
What you saw in the primaries going across all political parties, well, some parties tried, they were a bit fair, some had almost flawless a process, but some had, you know, countless, in fact, it was bedecked with flaws, parallel victories, parallel results, and all of that. So, is this what you were expecting for the primary elections going on?
If you must agree with me, I have to start by saying it is a total disappointment, especially to Nigerians who have been waiting for this particular moment of the electionary process. Well, after 3 years of preparation, and we are seeing this level like what we're seeing on social media and TV stations, parties conducting primaries, different results being called, different from what happens at the election centers. It is so disheartening. You know, disheartening. It shows that all what we're preaching, all what we canvassing for, is all falling on the deaf ear. And another thing I see there, the law itself is not encouraging anything, because at this very moment, parties are given a deadline to conduct their primaries, which for me is just too short. I am saying this in the respect of my party, NDC, the Nigerian Democratic Congress, who happens to be the new bride in the political arena at the moment, which have so much responsibility, because Nigerians abroad and Nigerians at home are resting their shoulder and resting their responsibility on this party to rescue the nation. When you look at the time span for the party to conduct primaries, is actually not enough. And according to law, they have a particular deadline which they are supposed to submit the names of their candidate who is going to fly their flag in different positions across the country. And when you look at other parties, which I don't want to mention because I'm here for a particular reason. I can only see what I know and what I've experienced, because I just passed my screening yesterday from the NDC screening center in Abuja. You can see from other political parties where you see other candidates are revolting that this is not what we voted. This is not what people voted for. This is not the result that was called. I still keep wondering, in this time of the year, in this time of our generation, where election can be conducted seamlessly in other countries, that Nigerians are not growing when it comes to things of digital world. What we see every day is like we are going back in our 1970s and the 1960s, where we have to count ballots with hands. We see other countries, like the European countries, like the Germans, like the Americans, where people can just sit down in their seat and press a button to air their opinion.
And the votes count?
The vote counts. Everybody sees it. It can't be air live. You can see it in the National Assembly or at the Congress in America. Nobody say I, the eyes have it. Nobody say the nays have it, without you actually counting properly. Because these people are representing a particular society or a particular constituent. They want their voice to be heard. They go back to their constituency to say, what do you people want us to vote for? What do you people want us to do? We can actually narrow it down to our primary election, because whatever happened in the primary election within the parties, that's the same thing you're going to expect in the general election.
Before the election. And look at what we are seeing.
It is not encouraging.
What does it portend for the next round of general election? Just hold our thoughts. Ibrahim, I'd like you to respond to this. If we're seeing all of these happen during the primary elections now, what hope is there for a rancor-free process next year?
Well, I will tell you there's no hope until we stand. Until we
Why
stand.
Not?
Until we stand. Until we stand to defend our democracy. until we begin, to understand that all of us need to be patriotic. Nigeria belongs to all of us. It doesn't belong to one section. It doesn't belong to one, group or the other. But what these people are doing, if you witness it, if primary elections, that's supposed to, direct primary election is a hope to democracy.
Okay.
You understand? Because it enables Nigerians or citizens or constituents, you understand, to prove those who they really believe in, who they feel is a better candidate, who they really believe that can do the job. But if you are differentiating them, manipulating at the primaries level, what will be the hope in general election? Now, and let me tell you, I was, ADC just conducted their primary elections across the nationwide. I think tomorrow will be presidential election, ADC presidential election. But, that was on 21st, that was Thursday, this last Thursday.
That's right.
ADC conducted primary election nationwide. That is for House of Senate, for senatorial aspirant, and that of House of Representatives, and included the State House of Assemblies. But I will use my constituency. Let me use my constituency. I'm from Kogi Central. Okay. I will tell you that. Do you know what happened on Thursday? There was no election in Kogi Central. There was no election in Kogi Central. At about 8 a.m. in the morning, people, and the constituent were waiting for electoral materials and the party officials and that of INEC, representatives. And I'll still tell you, up to 10, 11, I was there. I made sure that I monitored the whole processes. Right. There was no election at all. There was no electoral material. In fact, I had to even start calling some of the, ADC national leaders that in Kogi Central, election had been going on other places. But from 8 up to this level, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, we've not seen electoral materials. We've not even seen anybody.
Do you think I'm
coming. Do you know that at about 1:30 p.m., why the agents, the representative of aspirants, were still at the state secretariat waiting to receive the electoral materials that are supposed to be distributed across the world? The results were already online. That a particular aspirant was already leading. Did you see the kind of situation we find ourselves? Because the system, the system is...
Regarding the delay of arrival of materials and officials, was there any communication of information whatsoever as to what caused that? Or you are convinced that it was a deliberate move?
It was a deliberate move, because even prior to that, there was, there was something I saw online. There was a publication I saw that a particular group, because there's this one former senator, Ahmed Ogembe. He was, he's also on the race for the Senate. And there's this, Prince Murtala Sani Omoli, also on the race for the Senate. I'm talking about the Senate. Yes. And in respective constituency, the House of Rep, and Davi Okehi, we have one Kabiru Atta, and Dr. Ibrahim Aisha. So let me tell you, they did it deliberately. It was a deliberate move. So that, because the other, when you look at like the Prince, that Prince Mohammed Sani Omori had been preparing for the election, mobilizing at the grassroots. Because once you know that this is direct primaries, it gives you that hope that, okay, I need to relate directly to the grassroots. I need to sell my ideas. I need to tell them my manifesto. Like general election is, is just. But after you might have done all that, spend your resources, maybe registering voters card for your follower, for your supporters, then all of a sudden, and the electoral material.
In other words, it's expected that the option of the direct primaries for the primary elections was sort of a brighter hope in order to curb irregularities.
Yes.
But what we're seeing now,
it's even worse than delegate primaries.
Benjamin, in your view, has the direct primaries option helped in any way, considering what we're hearing across all political parties now?
As of the moment we are to speak, NDC have not released a guidelines on what we are going to use or how we're going to conduct our primaries. What we are still doing and what they are still doing at this very moment I speak to you, they are still screening candidate, which I believe, and like I said from the very beginning, as you also know, is a new bride in town. You understand? They want to get it right. That's the most important thing. I want you to understand that. NDC want to get it right. They want to be different from every other political party that have been existing in Nigeria. And for us to do that, we have to do it in a way that that will be so transparent. When the result is being called or the candidates are being fed into position, you will know that they are actually worth it. Because NDC want to win an election. When I say they want to win an election, for them to win an election, they have to feed in candidates that are well accepted at the grassroots. NDC doesn't want a situation where somebody bring money or somebody who have participated in another political party primaries or screening or process, or the person being screened that because he has a financial war chest coming to NDC to get the ticket. NDC is trying to avoid that. I look at the panel myself. I can tell you and I can guarantee you that I see credible people in that panel. In that panel where you see Baba Galadima there, and you see Baba Galadima, and you see Chief Obazi Oseloka, and the rest of former governor of Ebonyi State, I guess, and was a one-time minister and also a senator, also there. So you can see the process being on board. I must also tell you it is tedious because there are people from other 36 states like the House of Rep, Senate, and the rest of it. They are also there for the screening. So the place is kind of jam-packed, but they are taking their time. They work tirelessly around the clock just to make sure they get that done. But let me come back to the primaries. Then what the law says, direct primary, is supposed to be a hope
for a common
to the people at the grassroots. Because at this time, nobody has a right to dollarize any delegate anymore. Candidate, no aspirant has no opportunity to dollarize any candidate anymore in Nigeria.
Are you sure that that is impossible to, it is impossible to induce those who are going to vote, the delegates that will vote at the primaries? Because from what we have seen, from other parties, you have just serenaded your party, how is, equity and fairness rules today, But people, for instance, people who lost the ticket in other parties, I've seen someone who lost his ticket in APC. He has just crossed over to the NDC. A number of them.
And we know them.
Good. Now, how are you going to avoid, well, not you now, the party, inducements to favor certain money bags in order to avoid this corruption that we're talking about?
Like I said, I came from a very particular constituents that we know ourselves.
All right.
Like me now, I wake up every day, I call the people at the grassroots, who is next? Who is coming next? We know those that APC disqualified. Those that jumped the ship while they were in the House of Assembly, when they were in National Assembly and House of Assembly. They jumped the ship and went back to APC, and now they have come back to APC. APC have done them obubu yeye. You know what that means?
No, I don't.
No. Meaning that they have indirectly told them, we are relegating you guys and you guys are retiring for politics. Because they jumped to APC for them to be, they want to get the favor of the president. But unknowingly to them that there were people that formed the party. People have been toiling and laboring for the party. When they got to the field, now they were screened out. So these people now want to come to NDC and get a ticket. Like I said from the very beginning, NDC is a new bride. Their major focus is to get it right and win an election. Because now they are looking at people antecedent. What have they done before? Where are they coming from? Like me, I know those who left APC, PDP, ADC you're also talking about, who lost their primaries or lost out of the screening process and jumped to NDC. So we are collating their names and sending to the national leaders of the NDC to tell them, these people are not qualified to fly your flag. Mind you, those of us who are in NDC today, we are coming from somewhere. Who can also say it. We are following Peter Obi, wherever he goes on, be their movement and the rest of it. We are also letting them know, if you feed in a candidate that we cannot defend, if you feed in a candidate that cannot win the election, nobody will use his or her sweat to defend such person.
All right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because at that same time, while NDC is trying to make a good name for themselves, the only way they can retain that name is to feed in candidates that will not jump the ship tomorrow. To feed in candidates that they will not have litigations, because there are laws that guide attending a primary in somewhere another political party, failing the primary or losing out in the primary, and going to another party to get a ticket. There is a law that prohibits that. So we are telling NDC, in case you don't know, this person has participated here. This person was here before. If you give him ticket, wait for litigation. So NDC are trying to avoid that because we don't want to have court cases in our party. like the direct primary you are talking about, I am still hopeful, very, very hopeful, very, very optimistic that NDC is going to find a way, although we have limited time to run our primaries, they're going to find a way to make sure they feed in good candidates.
Talking about limited time,
Yeah.
I have a very pressing question regarding the time before the end of the primaries. But before then, look at the court judgment regarding INEC's timetable, time limit for submission of candidates to the INEC's portal. And now, many people are jubilating that, that means there is respite, there is hope. We can still extend our, activities, registration, primaries, and what have you. Whereas other analysts are saying, no, that could be a trap. INEC may be boxing you into a corner. Just in case you decide to go ahead and extend it, you may get into trouble and all of that. What is the implication of the judgment?
I think the law is clear on that judgment. The judgment is clear and is crystal clear that the Bablika Teke Mene Yofasi. He said, the law simply said, is extending the submission of party registered member, that's the register of the party's member to the INEC. That does not extend the primary process of the election.
Deadline for the primaries.
It did not extend that. It did not extend that. So a party had to be very, very, they had to sit down with the legal team for the legal team to explain this law to them. One thing is for you to read, one thing I understand. And when he got to court in Nigeria, there is a way they will also explain it, which
you start hearing about technicalities.
Technicalities. Where the technicalities start coming in, you start hearing big name, unambiguous. You start hearing names that we have never heard before.
Status quo antebellum.
You understand? You start hearing maintain status quo, so on and so forth. So, in my own understanding, and when I read the CTC, the City of the Judgment, I found out that the primary deadline, the party to conduct the primary deadline still remains the same.
Sacrosanct, right?
It's sacrosanct, still remains the same. What they are requesting for is that, what does that mean is that every party members who wants to join another political party can still continue to join their political party, while the register can be, the submission of the registration register party can be extended to September. That's what it simply means. It is not alter the former guideline or the process INEC have laid down of party primaries and screenings.
All right, Comrade Ibrahim. Across all opposition parties right now, including your party, well, the only party that we may not talk about, factionalization and internal crisis.
Including ADC, the strongest opposition party right now in the country.
But every other opposition political party right now has a faction, has a parallel leadership elsewhere.
Legal.
All of that.
We don't have. NDC we don't have.
I'm coming back to you regarding the NDC.
Because we don't have. Well, we don't want to have. That's why we are finding the process.
We do not want to have, but it's yet another to be able to fish out those who are fermenting trouble. Because as we speak right now, as I mentioned, all other opposition political parties have issues.
Yeah.
What is the implication of that on the fight to wrest power?
No. Let me tell you, most of the problems you are seeing in opposition parties, is orchestrated by the ruling party.
How can you be so sure?
No. You know it. You know it better. You know it better. Let not.
You can use the word allegedly.
Okay, allegedly.
Allegedly.
So you understand? It's just to disengage other political parties so that we'll have only one party system in Nigeria in 2027, which is not going to happen. That has been the tussle in the country. It's just, a strategy, you understand, to disengage other political parties. Because as I speak to you now, the strongest opposition party in Nigeria now is ADC. And it's ADC that can give what Nigeria needs in 2027. Because what is APC? What is APC going to campaign with? Do they have all your campaign promises for it, especially when you look at the power, the electricity, where the
talking about quite a number of projects like the Sokoto Badagry Superhighway and the Lagos Calabar Superhighway. Those are ongoing. Some of it was completed by the president.
Is that enough? They should also be talking about the electricity, the power the President Tinubu promised Nigeria during his last campaign, that he even made the statement that if I don't give you power, electricity, do not vote for me for second term. So that's enough to even...
Go on.
Okay, that is enough. You understand? That is enough for Nigeria to even vote APC out. And the only alternative we have in the country now is ADC. I am only appealing to the national leadership of our party due to what I witnessed in the last election, in the last primaries on Thursday, in my own constituency. There was no election in my constituency, and the leadership of the national leadership of our party, you know, made it clear, especially the ADC, the electoral guidelines and primaries, you know, stated that there should be direct primaries. There should be direct primaries where consensus fails. But those who didn't prepare for primaries, the like of former Senator Ahmed Ogembe, and you know, there was even a particular aspirant who just jumped from APC because there was an imposition there in his party. He just defected. Yeah, no, there was an imposition there in his party.
And because he was aggrieved with the APC, he decamped to the
Yeah,
APC.
he was aggrieved because there was an imposition in his
So did he eventually get the ticket of the ADC?
Yes, so he defected lately to ADC. And you know, he will not even have the opportunity or the chance, you understand, to win the primaries because those who he met, he came to meet in the ADC, already registered long ago. They already have their supporters.
Before his arrival.
Yes, he has to connive, you understand, with the electoral fraudulence that took place in 2020 on Thursday. He has to join the connive with Senator Ahmed Ogembe's camp. Those that hijacked the electoral materials, they hijacked it from the state secretariat, and the state chairman was there. You understand? All other ADC officials, they were there, they were present. Where people were at their respective wards waiting for electoral materials. No, I'm using this medium to appeal to the national leadership of our party ADC, especially Senator David Mark. He is known for integrity, and I also communicated with Mr. Bolaji, even while the process was
I was just
going.
getting there because I wanted to know if you had made your, you know,
Yes, we have petitions and all that. We have copied even the state CID and all that. Maybe when you come back to that, I'll talk about it.
Okay, now look at it. The threat of one party state, Benjamin, is so glaring. Many people, many Nigerians are worried. Politicians are like, even people in the opposition parties, they are worried that considering the massive defection, right, of opposition figures into the ruling APC, it could portend a foisting of a one-party state on Nigeria's hard-earned democracy. In the event that that happens, what could it portend for this hard-fought democracy that enough Nigerians don't want to get away from?
Thank you for that question. Before I come out to your question, my dear brother, your party, ADC, is not the most strongest opposition party in Nigeria. NDC is the most strongest party. That is a discussion for another day.
Just a moment. Absolutely.
No, it's not compared.
This is tending towards a debate.
And ADC
I just want to correct you on that. No,
ADC is not the chance. You know, it's the chance. It's the hope of Nigeria 2027.
Gentlemen, this is a debate for another day.
For another day. Okay, let me come to your question. One party system in Nigeria is an alien, like I can say, is an alien statement to we Nigerians. Let me tell you, Nigeria is not a state that they have a unique problem or a unique way of living or a unique way of respecting their leaders. The amalgamation of Nigerian include different societies with different mindset, with different orientations. And I know that the opposition, or rather the incumbent government and the ruling party, APC, have been trying to make that happen. And where we have almost 20-something governors and senators jumping ship and going into APC, which is okay. I want to remind you one thing. During Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, His Excellency, the former president of Nigeria, during his time, he has so many governors, so many senators and House of Rep who also defected to PDP, and at the end of the day, he lost that election. One of the most decorated politicians in Nigeria today. And he conceded, and he left. He left the position for late Buhari to become the president of Nigeria. Let me tell you, there are some ways when things are so obvious that you can't intend to manipulate it. A situation that, let me use the electionary process. When it's so open, it's so obvious, you can't take it. For example, sending an armed robber to go to a TV station and steal and say, we will not recognize you. For example, we are live right now. When an armed robber comes in here, we will definitely identify the person. The whole world will see that person. Okay. That is how the 2027 general election is going to look like. Because we, the NDC, we are fully prepared in every corner we are around. Don't tell me that you want to come and intimidate anybody. All what we are asking, and asking Nigerians and all the institutions at the department who are responsible for the electionary process to make sure they do their job fairly and be independent.
Okay.
Being independent in the sense that you must not, as a matter of fact, you must not bend the law or shift the goalpost when the football match is on. That is for that. So nobody can turn Nigerian democracy into a one-party system, because there are other political parties that are registered. All you can say, which is also political, which is allowed, even in America is also allowed, even in Germany is allowed, where other political parties who have more weight, like the NDC right now, would like to swing some members from the ADC, please come and join us. You know what I'm saying? But in America, they are doing it in a very diplomatic way. Diplomatic way and by lobbying, which is also allowed in politics to lobby, or we normally use the word wooing and all that. Okay. We can woo members to come and join us. You know what I'm saying? But planting a discord seed into a political party for you to be the more viable and sole one party in the country is disastrous. It doesn't represent the country properly, and it does not represent your party properly. Right. And at the same time, in the international community, they will see you and see the whole process a laughable process. That is the reason why we have to guide against it, and Nigeria have to speak up.
Talking about the process of the next round of general election now, the apex electoral body has the in fact, the most gargantuan responsibility of, delivering a fair, just, and credible process. Yeah. But considering what is going on at the moment, many people feel that, Nigerians alike, they feel that the credibility and the impartiality of the apex electoral body, INEC, is in question. Yes. What will INEC do, or rather, what is expected of the apex electoral body in order to deliver a just process as the elections approach?
No, let me, before you even talk about maybe INEC to conduct free, fair election, we should even look at what is even our problems. INEC cannot conduct free, fair, and credible election.
Why do you feel so?
Look at what INEC did to ADC and other political parties. Look at what they did in the recent time, when Professor Amutan came and he was allegedly instructed. Yes, he was allegedly instructed to disengage ADC because they know that ADC is the only party that can discharge and that can send President Bola Ahmed Tinubu back to Lagos. Then what hope?
You sound so convinced.
Yes. I'm very, very convinced. Okay. Yeah. When you look at the personalities in in ADC and their vision, you know that yes, ADC remains the hope of Nigeria, especially comes 2027. So INEC, we have to see. We still need to work on our constitution, because I cannot, the problem that INEC and an organization like INEC and EFCC are facing is almost the same. This is supposed to be independent body.
Right.
You cannot expect an independent body, and a body that's supposed to be independent, appointed by the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and you expect INEC not to be loyal to president's decisions.
We'll still be talking about INEC when we come back from this short break. Don't go away. My guests are still in the building. We'll be back in just a moment.
People, politics, and power brings context and clarity to issues and events in governance, democracy, and development. On People, Politics, and Power, we feature people who shape the events and define the issues.
A lot of the agencies are still struggling with implementation of freedom of information.
The government should come. We need Nigeria to work.
we examine the interplay and interaction of politics with power and their impact on policies and the people.
It's about getting the system to deliver the kind of electoral outcome that people will be happy with.
People, Politics and Power with Imoni Amarere.
Will low-performing agencies be held to account? Or will the numbers fade after the headlines?
At 1 p.m. every Monday and Friday on AIT.
Get ready for a bold new chapter in political discourse. This month of May, the conversations that matter most are stepping into the spotlight like never before. Political platform, the hard-hitting, no-holds-barred program you have trusted on Ray Power Radio is making a powerful move to television. Starting May 4th, 2026, tune in to Africa Independent Television, AIT, as political platform debuts on your screen, bringing deeper analysis, sharper debates, and the voices shaping our nation's future right into your screens. From policy and politics breakdowns to real-time discussions with key stakeholders, this is more than a program. It is where opinions are tested, truths are uncovered, and the people's voice is heard. Join seasoned hosts and expert guests as they tackle the issues that define our democracy. No filters, no distractions, just real talk. Political platform now on AIT, 9 to 10 a.m. every weekday. Premieres May 4th, 2026. Stay informed, stay engaged, be part of the conversation.
Thanks for staying with us. If you're just tuning in, I'm afraid you've missed quite a lot. But my guests are still in the studio. I'm here with Benjamin Mayor Oyameda, a member of the NDC and House of Representatives, hopeful. And of course, Comrade Ibrahim Onemisi, a public analyst, and of course, still a member of the ADC. Gentlemen, thanks for your time so far. Before we went on that, we were talking about the expectations of Nigerians from INEC in delivering credible, just, free, and fair process of general election next year.
So for now, there is no trust on INEC, but they have the opportunity to prove themselves 2027, because the only alternative is for them to conduct free, fair, credible election. Then we'll begin to believe in the fate of INEC.
Benjamin, you see, before the time that we're in, months before now, even towards the end of last year, there were lots of protests, agitation, requests, letters, and what have you, engagements with the National Assembly, regarding the amendments of the new Electoral Act 2026. And one of the demands by civil society organizations and analysts alike was that the power of the president in appointing the chairman of INEC be removed from the president and handed to an independent screening organization, in order for Nigerians to believe in the impartiality of the apex electoral body. But that never happened. As a matter of fact, that was the first, amendment the president hurriedly did, according to many Nigerians, before the other amendments, and then he gave his assent and all of that. Before then, let me just add this, the version of the amended acts that the Nigeria's House of Representatives passed was different and more acceptable to Nigerian people than the one the Senate passed. But in the final analysis, this is where we are. Still, the president still has to appoint the chairman of INEC. So, where do we go from here?
I am an aspirant under the Nigerian Democratic Congress, NDC, to represent the good people of Eastern, Northeast, and Southeast, known as Agbazilolo. I have a 6-point agenda. And that 6-point agenda, on the top of it, you see what is called Child Protection Bill. Meaning every child born as a Nigerian, lives in Nigeria, under the age of 18, should be protected at all means.
We have the Child Rights Act. Wouldn't that be overriding or duplicating the law?
It's not duplicating it. It's giving more right to government, or rather it's compelling the government to take care of the children that are growing up to become the leaders of tomorrow. If, for example, I always like using Germany as an example. Germany is one of the most beautiful countries where you can raise up family today. And I can tell you how. If a child is born today in Germany, and the father is unalive or not known, or the mother along the childbirth, during the childbirth passed on,
the child belongs to the state.
The child belongs to state. and the state take care of that child, and even the both parents are alive, that child receives a stipend, not less than 250 euros every month.
That's
it
right.
cannot actually cover the food cost of that child.
Apart from the provisions of the
Apart from the
parents.
provision of the parents. Schools are free. This is just to support the parents and motivate them and encourage them. And when the child grew up to some extent, the government, the society tried to mold that child to become somebody. If you cannot go to the university, you have to learn a job. If you cannot learn a job, you have to go to technical school. And the difference are not more. And the second point on my agenda is to make sure that the presidency does not have a right, or the right taken from the presidency, to appoint an INEC chairman. From there, we will now begin to see fairness.
So who would you propose? What organization would you propose appoints the chairman of INEC?
INEC, let me use that. INEC is an institution, right?
Under the presidency?
Under the presidency. They need to break it off. Break it off in the sense that they need to be an independent body. When you use the word an independent, it's a very different thing. Like, you are not a politician. You are interviewing politicians. That makes you an independent. So whatever I say is my opinion, not the party opinion yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever you say, most of the times your employer will say is also your opinion. That makes you an independent. So electoral body need to be fully independent, where they can elect their leaders by themselves, elect their state chairman, the national chairman by themselves. And at that point, Nigerians will begin to have hope that the electionary process is going to be free and fair.
All right.
Okay, now, let me draw your attention to the last 2 months or something. The INEC chairman was accused, allegedly, that
he being partisan.
Yeah, being a partisan. That he made a post on Twitter by alluding that he is a supporter of the incumbent governor.
But he clearly denied it.
What are the facts that you are bringing forward to deny it? When somebody make an allegation against you and you want to come and make a denial, you have to come with facts.
Apart from that, INEC's inquiry cleared him that it wasn't actually made by him.
Who are the people that made the inquiry? Give us the name of the organization. Let us ascertain and verify them.
INEC didn't mention that.
I didn't mention that.
They did.
They didn't mention that. That is what I'm talking about. They brought us somebody. I have an organization, I'm a renewable energy expert. I can equally tell you, oh, the energy you are using in this place is blah, 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 blah. You understand what I'm saying? Without me bringing my statistics, my reason,
the counter opinion
to
right.
that. So for that, Nigerians are beginning to think that the election in 2027 is not going to be free and fair. That is why you see Nigerians on social media, especially on Twitter, they were bashing the INEC chairman to say, please do the right thing. Is either you resign or you tell us how you come about this. And when you look at that Twitter handle, the names and the information of that Twitter handle was changed several times in just 1 week. And when you look at, he came and said he never had an account. But let me tell you, Nigerians are not fools. We are so acclimatized with the digital world that whatever you say, we can verify it in 1 minute or 2. And don't forget, the social media never lie. The internet never lie. Whatever you do, the thing that you cannot be saying in public, we are saying it.
It has records.
It has
Comrade
records.
Ibrahim, the primaries will end on May 30. A few days' time, right? Now, aggrieved members, aggrieved aspirants, and discontented members of the parties will definitely emerge. Crises have already started to come out because of parallel results, claims of inducement, claims of impartial process, and all of that. The time remaining before May 30 elapses, do you think is enough for the resolution within the political parties of all of these aggrieved members and issues that have already started to arise?
For me, it's not enough. And let me speak for my people, the people of Kogi Central.
Okay.
And I still want to use this medium to draw the attention of the national leadership of our party, ADC, to know that there was no election, there was no primary election, both the Senate, the Rep, and the Assembly on the last 21st, that was on Thursday.
Apart from the
and
issue
at the same time,
I mentioned,
I'll relate it. I'm coming, please. And they investigate, although they did already an investigative
panel.
Panel, and they are investigating. I want to appeal to the investigative team panel to do justice and to be fair in their investigation. And the national leadership of our party, those who were involved in the electoral fraudulent the last primary election of ADC should be disqualified, because this is not the vision of ADC. This is not what ADC stands for. ADC is a party that Nigerians really believe in. And if we begin to witness all these things, especially the former Senator Ahmed Ogembe and his team should be disqualified from because this is not what it is. An embarrassment. You cannot be talking. Look at. You cannot be comparing. You know, we cannot be complaining the APC. Look at the kind of primary selection going on in the country by the APC. And the party we are expecting the ADC to give a new direction, new leadership, new hope to Nigerians. And you came to ADC with the mentality of PDP or other party that you came from. I know the leadership of the ADC, especially Senator David Mark, will not tolerate that. He will not accept that. Senator Ahmed Ogembe should be disqualified from the yes, and that of Kabiru or Fadavio Okehi, that should be disqualified.
Is there any
election? There was no election. There was no election in Kogi Central. There was no ATC primary election in Kogi Central on the last Thursday. At the same time, we have the video evidence of what they did, how they snatched
which you tender when you are asked to come.
Yes, we have video evidence.
All right.
They did
Now,
the election.
is there any other place where issues like these arose during the primaries that you are aware of?
Yes, especially in Kogi East. Well, if you look at social media,
in your party, I mean.
In my party, what happened in Kogi Central is totally different. But there was nowhere in the country where the ballot, where electoral material were snatched or coaxed, completely. Okay. But you could say there was, that is illegal primaries. And I'm urging the leadership of our party that the investigative, and they should look into it. They should not accept any purported result that may be given to them.
Just hold your thoughts on that, Benjamin.
Yeah.
After the primaries, the next thing that Nigerians are waiting for is the campaigns.
Yeah.
And the only thing acceptable to right-thinking citizens of a country that wants to come out of its doldrums is issue-based campaigns.
Yeah.
Beginning from the NDC, is a new kid on the block. What will the NDC be campaigning with as the elections come?
Good question. First of all, what is going to be on our major campaign promises to the good people of Nigeria is to let them know that we are the newborn baby. We don't have any stains. We don't have any stains. And the party flag bearer for the presidential election, hopeful, His Excellency Peter Obi, and His Excellency Engineer Rabiu Kwankwaso, former governor of Kano State. These people have never been convicted for anything or accused of embezzling public funds. And they will have the agenda that will align to the yearnings of the people. And this agenda they are going to, not just that they wake up in the morning, they will write it. They will speak to Nigerians because they are not hoarding information from Nigerians. They're going to speak to Nigerians and hear from Nigerians and hear from the members of the party to say, are this what Nigerians really want? This is what NDC is going to be campaigning with. We're going to be campaigning with people like I speak to you right now. I can tell you this is who I am. And if anybody tell you Benjamin Mayor is a thief, I will tell you, if you have an evidence that I am a thief, I will step down, just like what Peter Obi normally says. So we are going to be campaigning with people that we know that they have integrity and good antecedent. That's why I said NDC want to get it right. NDC want to get it right in the sense that this is the foundation of a new party. And even we facing the members of the aspirant, passing through the difficult time to get to that particular screening point, being screened, we love it. We love it. We love it because a good thing doesn't come easy.
So far, what has the screening been?
The screening has been so hectic.
I know how hectic it will be, but there could be issues of irregularities, of falsification of documents, of qualification claims, and what have you.
Exactly.
Forgeries of all kinds, and all of that. Have any of that sort arisen, and what has happened to all of that?
Like I would say, I am not speaking for the NDC as an official. I am an aspirant. Right. I am a member. Like I told you from the very beginning, the people at that panel, they are not kids. They are not handling the matter with kids' glove. We have people of integrity on that panel, which I mentioned before. Babal Galadiman is there. Chief Oseloka, we know him, is there. And the former governor of Uyo State or something is also there. A lot of members that are on that panel. And the NDC itself have also set up another unseen committee, unknown people to us that in that particular party to vet every certificate that is being presented.
All right.
For example, I told you, I am a graduate of University of Applied Sciences in Germany. If you carry my name and put on the internet, you will find where the school I graduated. Because as I tell you, that's what I'm telling you, internet and this digital world is very easy for you to verify information. Okay. So anybody can go and bring certificate from Orokpota Hall or any computer center. You understand?
Incidentally, I know Orokpota Hall.
Ah, you know Orokpota Hall?
Because I spent 16 years in the city.
That is a very good. That's a very good something to make an illustration with. So if you can lie, you can go and bring a certificate from any university that you think you can. That is a way that NDC are put in place that they want to verify all those things. And we're not just saying that you have the highest qualification. What NDC are asking, during the screening, I will just give you one of the information. They are asking us, what do you think that you can bring to the table that NDC want to project with? For example, what are your qualities? What are your political background? How close are you to the people? Because they are focused on winning the election.
You're right.
They are very keen and focused on winning the election. They are asking everybody, what are the things you are putting on the table to say, this is what I will talk to my people with nobody's asking for money. If I spoke to one of the leaders, he said if it was possible to even reduce the cost of the form from the House of Rep from 2 million to 500,000, they would have done it.
All right.
Because of time constraint and all that, they have to do it in a way that every youth and every Nigerian, even women, got 50% discount.
Our time is almost fast spent now. Comrade Ibrahim, we're wrapping up the program now. Just as I asked Benjamin, I'm asking you too. What will the ADC be campaigning with? The president did say he is the candidate of the, he was endorsed all over. He said if he comes to campaign, after 4 years of not providing electricity, the evidence is everywhere.
Don't vote for me.
Nigerians should not vote for him.
Exactly.
That's already campaign. What will the ADC be campaigning with?
No, ADC, right now, ADC will be campaigning with. ADC is a party that wants to solve insecurity, the problem of, insecurity. It's a party that wants to give Nigeria the best economy, It's a party that wants Nigeria to be, the best, one of the best nation in the world, not only in Africa. So ADC is here to solve, all these problems, most of these challenges we are facing, especially power. ADC is there to give Nigerians hope.
The APC did promise power.
No.
We haven't seen it.
Why should
Nigerians believe the ADC now?
No. That is why you need to take ADC as an alternative. But because people in ADC are people of highly reputable character, are people of integrity. So they are not people you could, We have challenges at the other side, when you come with when everything about you is forceful, allegedly, maybe you will not be able to deliver your campaign promises. But ADC is the party in 2027.
Our time is fast spent. I must thank you very much, Comrade Ibrahim Onimisi, public analyst and a member of the ADC, for joining the program tonight. And of course, Benjamin Mayor Oyameda. Thanks for joining the program.
Thank you so much.
The elections are approaching much faster. And I'm going to need you two gentlemen back here in the studio as time goes on for more discussions regarding this election coming in 2027.
You have
That's our show for today. Don't forget, you can follow us on all social media handles. You can also find me on all social media handles. I will definitely be waiting for the conversations and questions that will follow. I'll see you again tomorrow. I am Enemaku Ojochegbe. Bye for now.